Hello, everybody. Welcome to Glecta, and I would request all of you to please switch on your cameras if you guys can. Everyone, please switch on your cameras. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? You can answer me on the chat in the chat box always. Please answer me in the chat box. I know that you guys cannot, unmute yourself from your end, but I would want you to be active on the chat box. And you know that my account's name over here, that's not the Glecta username, that's Elena. So make sure that you're texting all of your answers and everything that we'd be discussing on my account. For those of you who are new, we are an online learning platform and we provide classes for all levels. Amrita says her camera is not working. All right, no problem there. But what about the others? Please see if you guys can switch on your cameras. I can see Arya. Then there is Rania, Dhanvit, Ananya, Yumna. All right, these guys are not connected to the audio as well. But please switch on your cameras, everyone. In today's class, we are going to be doing the important questions of our GCSEs. Now, I'll tell you the grade as well for each and every question that we shall be discussing. All right, everyone pay attention. We are going to do the 4 markers, 5 markers in today's class. All right, I'll start from the basic itself. I can see that Shazane has joined. Shazane, it's GCSE. You must call Rania to join then. You must call your sister. She's doing GCSEs there. All right, let's get started. The first concept that we shall be discussing about is about functions. Now, when we talk about functions, what is a function? It's just a rule that we are going to define, right? Like if I say f(x) is equal to x plus 5, this x is the input that we are giving to the function. This x plus 5 represents the output, right? So over here, if I ask you what would be the value of the function at 5, like f of 5, that means we're going to do 5 plus 5, which is 10. That's what we are going to do. Hi, Rania. Now I see you. Earlier it was Shazane. Yeah, he was studying for GCSEs. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to learn about in functions, this is an exam style question. Functions is a grade 7 topic, everyone. And there could be like a 5 marks question over there. 3 kinds of questions that are framed from this particular topic. First one, to find the value of a function at a particular point. Second one, composition of functions, that is grade 8. And inverse of the functions, also grade 8 over here. All right. We are going to do mixed kinds of questions. This question is for grade 7. The other one that we would be doing would be for grade 5, grade 4. We're going to do mixed. All right. So it consists questions of higher as well as foundation. Over here now, when we talk about G of 5, I've already told you 5 is the input, guys, right? So over here, wherever you see x, you replace that by 5, right? 2 times 5, 10. 10 plus 1, 11. 3 times 11, 33, right? That's your answer for the A part. Now for the B part, everyone. It involves composition of functions, combining functions. Now, what do we actually understand by combining functions? Like pineapple pizza. I'm not sure if you like pineapple pizza or not, but understand this thing, that in maths, when you're multiplying, like when you do 2 times 3, it's same as 3 times 2. But when we talk about FGX, this is not multiplication. Not multiplying, remember that. Do not combine do not multiply your functions when you have this. So this will definitely not be equal to GFX. You can see an example right in front of you. Like a basic example in layman language, that if I put pineapple on the top of my pizza, right, that forms a pineapple pizza, right? Which some of you guys might enjoy. I do not personally, right? But you guys would enjoy. But on the top of your pineapple slice, putting pizza toppings, right? Or putting pizza on the top of pineapple. That's a completely different thing. No, that's even like, see, I can see Abdul's face over there. That's yuck, right? You're not going to eat that for sure. So these are two different things that we are talking about. Now, how do we combine our functions? Always start from our inner function. I'm going to give you an example over here on this particular page, and the question that was there on the other page. You guys are going to answer me for that. F of x equals x squared, and let's say function g is x plus 5. So if I talk about finding f, g, x, as I said, always start from your inner function. On the inner part, we have function g, right? So you keep f as it is. Function g is x plus 5, right? What does function f say now? Whatever is the input, we square it up, right? Whatever is the input, we square it up. So over here now, our input is not just x, it's x plus 5, guys. So we are going to write x plus 5 squared. And when you expand these brackets, it's x squared plus 25 plus 10x. In case you wonder how I have done that mentally, not a lot of schools do this particular formula, but whenever you want to expand brackets, you can always use this particular formula when we are squaring them up. Square of the first term plus square of the second term plus twice of the product of the two terms. And you can get your answer mentally like I did over here. Similarly, if there is a minus sign over here, so I would replace this sign by minus. That's it. Okay. Now coming to the next one, if I want to calculate GFX, guys. So like I said, start from your inner function. On the inside, now we have function f, right? So what is the function f that we have over here? That's x squared. So for my function g, now I do not have the input as x, but I have it as x squared, guys. So over here, it's x squared plus 5. Now you see the two answers that we are getting over here. These are different, right? One side I'm getting x squared plus 25 plus 10x. On the other side, I'm getting x squared plus 5. That's different, right? So these are two different answers that we are getting. Now, everyone who understands this, give me a thumbs up on the chat box. And I would request, please, guys, switch on your cameras. I cannot see anyone. Please switch on your cameras, guys. Everyone. I can see a lot of people are there, but I would want everyone to switch on their cameras. Yumna, Louis, Dhanvet, Dhwanet, Ananya, Amrita, Alex, Aditya. Then we have Arya. Please, everyone, switch on your cameras. And I would want you guys to stay active on the chat box. Those of you who have switched on their cameras can just give me a thumbs up on the camera if you understand this one. And you have to be ready to do the next one as well. Let me see who answers me first on the chat box. All right. Are you guys ready for the next question now? The one that we left. So over here, coming back to this question. You guys have to figure out G of F of 9. Giving you guys exactly 60 seconds to quickly solve it. Come on, your time starts now. And let's see who answers me first on the chat box. It's not just about answering first, it's also about answering correctly. Also, do not mix the pineapple and the pizza, right? Pineapple on the top of pizza tastes different as compared to pizza on the top of pineapple. All right, Yumna has given me a certain answer. Waiting for others. Yumna, given me the correct answer. Very good, darling. So over here, when we try this one, oh wait, I should wait for 30 seconds for everyone to be able to try it. Like I said, always start from the inner function. 20 seconds. Waiting for others to give me the answer. Till now, only Yumna has given me the correct answer out of all. All right, let's have a look at the answer. So we have to do G of f of 9. Now, f of 9, what is the function f? 12 over square root of x, right? Now, instead of having x, we have 9, right? So 12 over 3, that is 4. Now, you just replace x by 4 in your function g. That's it. 2 times 4, 8. 8 plus 1, 9. You're doing 3 times 9, which gives you your answer as 27. All right, so 27 is the correct answer. This was composition of functions. The next one, C part, invoice of functions. Now, technically, what do we mean by invoice? This, right? So our function, when we are blindfolded, what is the inverse of it? Only the eyes are visible over here and everything else is covered. So that's inverse. Technically, that's the meaning, no? In functions as well, it has the same meaning, right? So if I say f of x equals x plus 5, technically, now I have to calculate the invoice. Mathematically, I'm asking, what input shall I take so that my output comes out to be equal to x, right? What input shall I take? So over here, you can say, Miss, if I'm taking instead of x, if I write the input as x take away 5, right? So if you write it over here, x take away 5, and the function's rule is whatever is the input, we are adding 5 to it. So this gives me the answer as x, no? So that means x take away 5 is the inverse of this function, right? You can see the meaning over here, what exactly we are trying to do, right? We are calculating what's not visible to us, right? So now over here, when I do it mathematically, because you cannot use this same logic everywhere in every single question, because I randomly took up x minus 5. What if you have a complicated function? Then how do we do it? Just follow 3 main steps. Whatever is given to you in the question, you take that as equal to, let's say, y, right? Put y equals to f of x, right? That's your first step. Second step then, make x as the subject. That's your second step. Third step, replace x by f inverse x and y by x, right? That's what we can do over here. Now, let me take a little more, different function or complicated, you can say. Let's say over here, the function that we had previously in the previous question, f of x was 12 over third x, right? So if I want to calculate the inverse over here, step 1, y equals to whatever is the function. Step 2, make x as the subject. So whenever we have algebraic fractions, we can always cross multiply like that. So this would become third x equals 12 over y. And since I want x as the subject, I can square both the sides, right? I would get 144 over y square. Now, you can replace x by f inverse x and this y by x. This gives us the inverse of the function. Now, what do we mean by this 144 over x square? This is just telling you that if you take the input as 144 over x square in your original function, then you get your answer as x. I'll show that to you. Although whatever I have done in blue, that's exactly what you're supposed to do on your exam paper as well. But to be able to check if our answer is correct or not, I'm telling you the method of verification. Our function was 12 over third x, right? Now, instead of x, I'm taking 144 over x square. So 12 over square root of whatever is the input. I'm using this function. So the input is 144 over x square, right? When I take a square root of it, we get 12 over x, right? Now, how do I solve this algebraic fraction over here? Whenever we are dividing two fractions, I always tell you in the classes, KFC. KFC is not the one that you're thinking about, not that KFC. Keep, flip, change KFC. KFC. Keep the numerator as it is, flip the denominator, change the sign, right? Easy way to remember it that way. So keeping the numerator as it is, in the denominator, we have 12 over x. So flip it, x over 12, and change the sign from division to multiplication. 12 divided by 12, 1. What answer are we getting over here? We get equal to x, right? So whatever I've done in red and purple over here on the left side, right? This is just a way to verify it. Okay, Abdul has literally given me the answer for KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, yummy. Over here in math, we would keep it as keep, flip, change when we are doing fractions, when we are dividing two fractions. All right, guys? I hope you guys understood this one because the question you guys would be doing on your own. All right? Okay, guys, if you have any query anywhere, ask about it on the chat box. All right, drop me a text. I won't mind explaining it to you guys again. All right. Now, coming back to this one. Again, I'm giving you 60 seconds by my watch to solve this one. Quickly, everyone. All right, Abdul, you're asking what is surd? Isn't it square root? Yes, dear, surd is not in general, I would say square root, because surds are square root when we are taking a non-square number in it. All right, if I write square root of 4, my answer is either positive 2 or negative 2, right? I won't call that as a surd 4. This is not a surd because we have a square number inside our square root. When we have a non-square number inside the square root, then we call that as surd. Okay, let me see what answers you guys are giving me. All right, x minus. All right, yes, correct answer, Yamna. Very nice. So over here, when we are solving the last one, g inverse of 6, like I said, whatever, the function is, you take that as y, right? Over here, what you can start with is because in the brackets, we are given 6. So you can write that as 6 equals and whatever is the function. So 3 times 2x plus 1, right? Now, if you want to figure out what would be the inverse, make x as the subject. So over here, when I divide both the sides by 3, this gives me 2x plus 1 equals to 2. And rearrange it, take away 1 on both the sides. 2x equals to 1. Divide by 2 on both the sides. We get x is equal to a half. All right. So this is the inverse of the function. Inverse, now, as I said, that in general, if I'm calculating it, I get the answer as x, right? But over here, you're doing g inverse of 6. This means that if you replace x by half over here, your answer must come out to be 6. Let's cross-check our answer. Now, guys, whatever I'm writing in green is not something that you're supposed to do in the exam. That's just for you to understand or to check if you guys are getting the correct answer. Replace x by a half. And check, are you guys getting a 6? 2 divided by 2, 1. 1 plus 1, 2. Yes, we end up getting 6. So we have done this one correctly. All right? I hope you guys are done writing. All of those who have switched back their cameras off again, Tayab, Louis, Ananya, Amrita, please switch on your cameras, guys. Is everyone clear with this? Please respond with a yes or no on the chat box at least. Okay, Rania is done. Yumna, are you done with this one? All right. Amrita says a yes. What about the others? Okay, done. Yes, all right, perfect. Now the next thing, as Abdul mentioned, surds, and luckily the next topic that we are going to study now is surds over here. Now, there are always 3 kinds of questions that are asked from surds. Number 1, where you have to express a surd in another form. Number two, where you would have to, expand the brackets with surds. And number three that we have would be rationalizing. This is the number three category that is given to us in the question over here. So how do we rationalize now? If there is a single surd, like if I write 5 over surd 2 or 3 surd 2, if there is a single surd, whatever is given in the denominator, you multiply and divide by the same. 3 surd 2, 3 surd 2, right? So when I times the numerator together, that's 15 surd 2. And when I times the denominators together, now you don't really need to actually times by 3 also actually, because over here you can just take surd 2. We're working on the surd only, no? In the denominator we have a surd 2. Just take that up. So over here it would be 5 surd 2 over 3 as it is, and surd 2 times surd 2. Square root x times square root x is just x. So our final answer comes out to be 5 surd 2 over 6. But if we have more than one terms in the denominator, like in this given question, this kind of question is asked for 3 marks in the exam, guys. All right. So over here, if there is a minus in between, I would multiply by a plus. If there is a plus, I would multiply by a minus. But first of all, my first step would be to simplify this surd 180 because my final answer is in terms of surd 5. All right. So surd 180. How can I write it as a multiple of 5? Something times by 5. Now divide 180 by 5. Although this is a calculator paper that we are doing, all right. But over here, you can do it mentally as well. 180 divided by 5. Whenever you're dividing something by 5, mentally just double it up. Double of 180, 360. So 36. 36 times 5 would give you 180. Now square root of 36 is just 6. So 6 surd 5. Now you replace it back over there. So 6 surd 5 minus 2 surd 5 over 5 surd 5 minus 5. So 6 minus 2. Now guys, while doing surds, remember one more thing. Surd 8 minus surd, let's say 3. Do not make this mistake of writing it as surd 5. We cannot add or subtract our surds like this. In algebra, how do we add up? We add up 2x plus 3x, and then we write it as 5x, no? So always keep your concepts of adding and subtracting surds parallel to adding and subtracting like terms in your algebra. All right. So over here, 6x minus 2x, that's 4x, right? So you could be doing 4 surd 5 over here. Do not write it as 4 surd 0 or something, 5 minus 5 if you do that, because that's a very common mistake that I've seen most of the people doing. All right. And then in the denominator, we have this thing. Now, guys, I haven't started rationalizing yet. Right now, I have just simplified whatever was given to me in the question. Now I'll simplify. Now I will rationalize it. Whatever is given in the denominator, rationalization is the process of removing square root term from the denominator. So whatever is given in the denominator, I would multiply by the same number, but just take the different sign. If there is a minus, I'll write a plus in between. And if there is a plus, I'll write a minus in between. So it's just like expanding brackets. Now, one common formula that you will always be using in the denominators when you're rationalizing, especially when you're doing rationalization of more than one term in the denominator. Remember dots. This is a shorter way to do this in just one single step. Whenever terms are being added in one bracket and the same terms are being subtracted in another bracket, our answer is difference of 2 squares. So over here, instead of actually, going into the complete expanding the bracket thing, in the denominator, you just have to take difference of the squares. That's it. And in the numerator, of course, you will have to take brackets because this 4 surd 5 is multiplied by both these terms. So when I do 4 times 5 times surd 5 times surd 5, plus 4 times 5 times surd 5. So over here, what do we get? 4 times 5, 20. Surd 5 times surd 5 is just 5. So you have 20 times 5, which is 100. Plus 4 times 5, 20. 20 surd 5. And then we have in the denominator 5 surd 5 square. That's basically 5 square times. Surd 5 square is just 5. So technically you're doing 125. Take away 25. That's just equal to 100, right? Now separate the fraction. 100 divided by 100 plus 20 over 100 times surd 5. So that's 1 plus 1 over 5 or surd 5 over 5. So A and B are integers to be found. Over here, we are getting A as 1 and B as 5. All right, guys? Difference of 2 squares. Right, Abdul, it's difference of 2 squares. Guys, stay active on the chat box and please let me know if you guys understood this part or would you want me to go over it, go over any particular step again. Arya, Aditya, Alex, Amrita, Ananya, Louis, Tayab, Sonara. Please tell me if you guys understood this one. All right, you've understood. All right, great. Giving you guys just 30 seconds to quickly take a note of it, or if you want to take a screenshot of it, you guys can. The next thing that we'd be doing is, again, one of the most important questions that we always get in the exam, finding the equation of tangent. All right, surds is a grade 7 topic again, and finding the equation of tangent, that's grade 8. Okay? Then I'll come to some grade 4 and grade 5 topics as well. So after this one, the next that we have is finding out the equation of tangent. Now over here, Mr. Abdul, can you please read out the question for me?
The center of a circle is the point with coordinates -1, 3. The point A with coordinates 6, 8 lies on the circle. Find an equation for the tangent to the circle at A. Please give your answer in the form ax plus by plus z equals 0, where a, b, and c are integers.
Thank you so much, Abdul. Now over here to find out the equation of tangent. We mainly have to remember 3 steps, and these 3 steps follow up for every single question that you will be doing. All right, always remember that. So over here, when we talk about the first step, step 1, find out the gradient of radius, always. Then step 2, find out the gradient of tangent. And step 3, use the equation y equals to mx plus c to figure out the value of c. Now, how exactly or what exactly are we doing over here? In your circle theorems, there is a very important theorem that you would have studied, that radius is always perpendicular to the tangent, right? And for perpendicular lines, we always have the relationship between the gradients as the gradient of the second line is always the negative reciprocal of the gradient of first line. So over here, if 2 over 3 is the gradient of first line, then for the second line, negative reciprocal of it means you're going to flip it and write a minus sign in front of it. If we have negative 4 over 7, then you flip it 7 over 4 and change the sign, right? That's what we are going to do. So over here now, if I start solving this one, what is gradient? Gradient is basically change in y over change in x, right? What are the coordinates? Center is -1, 3. The points over here that we have are 6, 8, right? So step 1 over here, gradient of radius. Let's say this is point O, this is point A, right? So gradient of OA. Change in y over change in x. What are your y coordinates? 8 and 3. What are your x coordinates? 6 and -1. Now you just have to subtract these two. So 8 take away 3, 6 take away -1. So 8 take away 3 is 5, 6 plus 1, 7. That's what we are getting for gradient of OA. Now if I want to calculate the gradient of tangent, we just have to take the negative reciprocal of it, which would be -7/5. All right, that was our step 2. Now, the third step. Equation of a straight line is y equals to mx plus c, where m represents the gradient, everyone. So over here, I'm just going to replace m by -7/5. And since we are calculating the equation of line, our line passes through the coordinates 6, 8. That means my x coordinate is 6, y coordinate is 8, right? That's what I'm going to substitute over here. Okay, I'm receiving chat box. Does matrices come in GCSE? Matrices is a part of your further mathematics. Right now, the concepts that we are doing, that's normal math. If you go for further math, then you would have matrices. That's a completely different concept. All right. So over here, when we are doing this thing, just substitute the values. You would do C equals to 8 plus 7/5 times 6, which would give you 82/5. Now we have figured out the value of C. You needed an equation y equals to mx plus c, right? So y equals m came out to be -7/5 and C came out to be 82/5, right? Multiply both the sides by 5, although you can leave that in that form as well, the equation that we got. But over here, the question says that we have to give our answer in this specific form. X, Y, and the constant term should be on the left side. And I have to rearrange the equation so that on the right side, I'm getting a 0. So over here, multiply by 5 on both the sides. Take everything that you have on the right side. So 7x plus 5y, take away 82. This equals to 0. So this is the equation of the tangent. This is our required equation. Now, guys, you tell me if you have any confusion in any step anywhere. It would be positive 7x while you're shifting it to the other side. Or yeah, you can take it as, if you're taking positive 82, yeah, that's also correct, Rania. I hope everyone is done with this part. Guys, please let me know if you understood this or not. I'm active on the chat box. Also, I'll drop you guys a link as well, everyone, over here. 1 second. For everyone, I'm sending a link. This is the link of our mock test. All right, you would be getting a mock test as well from our end. I have attached the link on the chat box. Everyone can download that particular mock test from this particular link. You can save this link as well, please. Okay. And guys, we have started with our rapid courses for GCSEs. So if anyone is interested to, enroll for our rapid courses, please contact on the given numbers that we have over here. All right. These are the numbers. You can either WhatsApp them over here or visit our website. These are the rapid courses that we have started. The management will provide you with all the details, the curriculum, and everything. In limited number of classes, we would be doing the most important questions, exam style questions precisely, and it's more of like a revision course that we'd be doing. All right, before your GCSEs. All right, now coming to the next question over here. Now, this is a grade 5 question. Okay, so those of you who are aiming for foundation, you guys can please listen this carefully because this one is an important question over here. All right, so over here, this category of question is usually asked in the exam. As in that either there is a question related to speed, distance, time, and everything, or you have a question related to pressure, volume, and everything, or you have it about, density. These are the three categories, and out of these three, there is always one question that is either asked directly, the question is entirely about these, or they are asked indirectly. So let's understand this one. This one is for grade 5. The question is talking about volume of prism. Over here, what is the formula for volume of prism? Volume of a prism is area of cross section multiplied by the length. First of all, what is a prism? We have two similar shapes or two congruent shapes that are separated by a length. For example, you see I have joined my hands right now, isn't it? When I separate it up, there is a little gap, right? This kind of forms a prism if there was a line connecting it, right? If each fingertip of mine is joined with another and there is a straight line connecting it, then it's a prism. Like over here, there is a hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six-sided shape, hexagon. Each vertex is connected to the vertex of another hexagon, right? So it's separated by a length of 3 meters. That's a prism. Similarly, you can have triangular prism, as in that there are two triangles and each vertex is connected to one another. So we would call that as a triangular prism. If we have two squares connected end to end, that although becomes a cube, but cube is also a kind of a prism. You can also have a cylinder over here connected end to end. This is also nothing but a form of a prism. So over here to calculate the volume, whatever is the area of cross section, as in you have triangle over here in a triangular prism, so you'll be working on area of triangle. If you have to work out the volume of prism or volume of cylinder, you have a circle on the top, so you would be doing area of circle multiplied by its height. Similarly, over here in this particular question, we have a hexagon, right? So area times the length. That would give you the volume, right? We don't know the area yet, but we know the length for sure. The height in between is 3. The volume is 18. So if I want to work out the area is 18 divided by 3, which is equal to 6 meters square. Now, the pressure is given to us as 75 Newton meters square. We have found out the area. The question asks us to find out the force. So I'm just going to use this particular formula that is given to us. Pressure is equal to force over area. Pressure is 75. Force, we are not given, but we have figured out the area, right? So for calculating the force, like I said, whenever you have algebraic fractions, 6 is being divided on the right side. On the left side, you would have to multiply it. So 75 times 6. You would be getting your answer as 450 Newton. All right? So this is our answer. We were given the volume in the question, so I have used the volume of the prism, and using that, I have calculated the area. This is like your 3 marks question. I hope you guys are done with this part. Yeah. Guys, keep sending me text after I'm done explaining every single question, so that I know that you guys understood or you guys did not understand. So far everyone has been understanding everything, right? So now I've given you the link of the mock test as well. You guys are supposed to then submit this particular mock test to me. All right, and then I expect you guys to score a full mark, I expect you guys to score full marks, because you guys are not asking your doubts. So technically, according to me, you guys are understanding everything that I'm teaching. All right. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. The next question that we have is about standard forms, grade 4. We always have 1 mark question if you guys are preparing for higher tier. Then you have a 1 mark question like this mostly. If you guys are gonna appear for foundation, you can have more like kind of a word problem that could be there in your exam. But again, there is mostly like this kind of question in most of the past year papers also. If you see, there is always 1 mark question like this from standard form. Write these number in order of size, starting from the smallest. So you need to, convert them in such a way that you guys are able to compare it. So convert all of them in standard form. Standard form is when you have the first number in between 1 and 10, right? And the second number, this some 10 to the power n. Abdul says, Miss, I'm in. Yes, you can't get full marks there. That was not for you. Don't worry. But I'll appreciate your effort. No, if you try out whatever you understood from that part. All right. In GCSE, everything is asked. No, it's not like that you have the most difficult questions over there. But it's a good thing, Abdul, that you've started preparing already, right? So when you'd be doing it in year 11 finally, then I will not be sparing you, Abdul. Okay, then I would be wanting you to score full marks in every single mock test because you've started preparing very early, no? Then I will not want you to lose even a single mark. Remember that. Okay. All right. Now over here, 6.72, like I was saying, this is already there in standard form. Over here, if I want to convert the second one in standard form, I need the decimal in the left for this to be able to be between 1 and 10. So if I'm making it smaller, right, this would be 10 to the power. Now you guys tell me, should I increase the power or should I decrease the power? This is a question for you guys. I would want you to tell me on the, answer me on the chat box. Will it be 10 to the power minus 5 or will it be 10 to the power minus 3? Waiting for everyone's text. Okay, Abdul Mukhit has given me a certain answer. Let's see what others have to say. Okay, Rania says the same. What about the others, please? Guys, whenever we shift the decimal in the left, right, then our powers go on increasing or decreasing. Okay, everyone over here. Okay, I've received only 3 answers till now. Okay, it's Abdul Hafiz. All right, there, all right. 6.72 times 10 to the power negative 5. Right? Now, if I shift the decimal over here in the left, don't we increase the power? Because over here, now imagine this is 100, right? 100 is 1 times 10 square. What have we done? We have shifted the decimal 2 positions in the left, right? You increase the power. So when you're increasing the power, negative 4 plus 1, what will it be? It would be negative 3, right? Everyone has given me the answer as negative 5. Guys, it would be negative 3. You increase the power when your decimal shifts in the left. Okay, when your decimal shifts in the right, like if I write 2.5, so this would be 25 times 10 to the power minus 1. In this case, you're shifting it in the right, then we decrease the power. All right, so it would have been 10 to the power negative 5 if in the question we had 0.672. All right, which is there in the last case, so we would come to that as well. Then the third one over here, we are shifting the decimal 2 positions in the left. So that's 6.72. Again, increase the power by 2. This would become 10 to the power 4 plus 2, which is 6. And in the last one, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll be shifting my decimal 4 positions on the right. Now I'll be writing 10 to the power negative 4. Decrease the power, right? So which one is the smallest? Because every number has 6.72 in it, right? So you would just have to compare the powers of 10. So the smallest power of 10 that I have is 10 to the power minus 2, right? Let me not write it again because I'll rewrite the final answer only once and for all. So this is my first number, this is my second number, this is my third number, and this is my fourth. But when you have to give your answer in your exam, you will write it, or like whatever is given to us in the question, you would write it in that order. So you would write 0.00672 first, then you'd be writing 67.2 times 10 to the power minus 4. Then you shall be writing 6.72 times 10 to the power 5. And then you shall be writing 672 times 10 to the power 4. I hope this is clear to all of you. Abdul Hafiz, you're saying the power decreases. It's 100. Okay, you're writing 100, but when I'm writing it as a multiple of 10, right now you have not written anything. Let's say this is 10 to the power 0, right? You are comparing the power of 10, isn't it? So over here, if you're writing it 1 times some power of 10, this power has increased from 0 to 2, isn't it? So the power has increased, Abdul. It has not decreased. All right. Okay. I hope everyone understood this. Like I said, there is always 1 mark question in your exam of this form. Okay, in your final GCSEs, if I talk about it. Is it clear, everyone? Okay, now let's quickly discuss the last question for today. This is circle theorems. In circle theorems, you need to remember there are like 7, 8 properties, right? And you just need to remember those particular properties. Rania, darling, can you please read out the question for me?
A and B are points on a circle, center 0. BC is a tangent to the circle. AOC is a straight line. Angle ABO is x degrees. Find the size of angle ACB in terms of x. Give your answer in its simplest form. Give reasons for each stage of your working.
Yes, thank you, Rania. Now over here, if I say angle ABO is x, remember, whenever 2 radii are forming a triangle inside the circle, OA is the radius, OB is the radius. Do you see it's an isosceles triangle? So technically, I can say that this angle is also x degrees, right? Isn't it? And angle OBC, what would be angle OBC over here? I told you an important circle theorem. Radius is always perpendicular to the tangent, right? So angle OBC is 90 degrees. Now, do you see this triangle ABC? All the angles add up to 180 degrees, right? So we have this angle A, which is x, angle B, which is x plus 90. And then we have to work out angle ACB. The total equals 180 degrees. Now, how do we solve it? ACB is 180, take away 90, take away x, take away x. Whatever is being added in the left side, on the right side, it will get subtracted. All right. So over here, it would be 180 take away 90, which is 90, take away 2x. This is our final answer. All right. Oh, sorry. Yes, it would be 90 take away 2x. I hope all of you guys understood this part. Yes. Does anyone have any doubts in any part in whatever we have discussed right now? This is again a 3 marks question, and circle theorems is a grade 8 topic again. All right. All the topics that we have done today, all the questions that we have done today, these are some important questions asked in your GCSEs. So make sure that you're practicing these types of similar questions. We have many more questions that we need to cover. So I promise you I'll be taking more of these important questions like you see over here. I'm showing you the slides. These are questions that I have ready for you guys. All right. So we will be discussing this in our next live session. Okay. I hope nobody has any doubts anywhere. If anyone has any questions, please drop me a text. We haven't discussed it, but what is alternate angle segment theorem? Abdul, I can explain you that particular theorem, but you're too young to understand that. I would say that, but I'll still explain it to you. Alternate segment theorem. Over here, when we talk about segments, right? I'm drawing a circle over here, right? Now, over here, if I connect any 2 parts of the circle, let's say I'm connecting this red line, right? Any 2 points on the circle. This is called a chord. Now, this chord can make an angle with certain tangent, right? And this chord will make certain angle on any other side, right? My alternate segment theorem says that whatever angle is made with this red and pink line, this is my chord, and this is my tangent. So whatever is the angle between the chord and tangent, right? On the alternate segment, this is the minor segment over here, right? So on the alternate, that means this side of the circle. On the alternate side, we make the same angle. So if this is x, that means this angle is also x. And that can be made on any other, part of the circle. Like this green line could also make, angle x. Then the other side, I have this red line, kind of red, right? It should just touch the circle. That's it. The red line extended to any other point on the circle, it will always be equal to x. Remember, all these angles that we are making over here, this is also x, this is also x, this is also x. This is called the alternate segment theorem. It's easy to understand, but it is comparatively more difficult to apply in the questions. All right, so make sure that when you practice these kinds of questions, you're able to do those. All right. Yes, you can get ready for GCSEs right now itself, definitely. All right, I hope nobody has any questions, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next live lesson. Make sure that you join me in the next live lessons also, and make sure that you are practicing the mock test that was given to you guys today. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. And do not forget to follow our social media platforms and this video would be uploaded on YouTube in a few days. Make sure that you comment over there give your feedbacks, of course, and comment if you like this video. All right. Bye, everyone. That would be all for today. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.